Hi, friends. Welcome back. So, I want to have a chat with you about showing up every single day. And in fact, a few months ago, I got a message from someone in our community, Dave. He wrote, here it is, finished my 11th Chicago Marathon. Your YouTube videos were with me on every run, 60 miles a week for 10 months. I appreciate your time and work. And this is a picture that Dave sent. Finishing the marathon and got the medal and smiling and has a copy of my book, which is absolutely fantastic. Thank you, Dave, and also thank you for sharing. I'm sharing this story because anyone who's ever done a marathon would know it takes a lot of training to do this thing. For those of you guys who aren't, familiar with long distance running, essentially you have to build up your body to get the endurance capable of running the marathon. And in fact, you don't actually really run the full distance until the actual day of the marathon. You kind of build up to it. It's the same with anything physical or mental. Is you start in small chunks and you work up, build up strength so that you are able to tackle the larger goal. And I think that you have to think about life as a marathon, right? Not just literally running a marathon, but life as a marathon. And it's all about showing up every day, keeping your goals in mind, and setting a plan to where you're going to be successful. I'm bringing up this topic because I had noticed a kind of a strange culture, or no, strange is the right word, but we'll just say a culture of quitting the last month or so on YouTube. And it's interesting. I mentioned in a video, I think a month or so ago, where it was like Matt Pat and another YouTuber, like big ones, have decided to quit. And I've noticed just in the last couple of weeks, with the crash of Tesla stock and other stocks that we've been talking about on the channel, several finance YouTubers have been quitting. One yesterday said something like he hurt his shoulder. Who knows? Another one said like he needs to educate himself. He's taking time off again. Who knows? And another one said, hey, I got personal problems. Who knows? Another one said, hey, I'm quitting to go do another finance company again. Who knows? And there's a couple of things I want to say about this. So one is, whatever you got going on in your life, yes, it's true. Sometimes you need to take time off to reevaluate what you're doing in life and set a new direction that makes sense for you. Now, I do make jokes, it's very true. Some people on YouTube are just frankly, how can I say, dishonest, and they don't necessarily tell you the full story, and they're quitting for reasons that they just don't want to share with you, okay? In regards to something like that, there's something that I have learned and experienced for myself. I was professor for about 10 years, is that sometimes students will tell you all kinds of reasons of why they can't do their homework. And for anyone who's had any kind of experience with this, dealing with young people and dealing with responsibilities, you'll completely understand exactly what I'm saying, especially for those of you who are parents and you tell your kid, clean your room, and they come up with all these reasons why they can't do it. One of the sort of ways to show that you're an adult and also show your development and to grow up is find a way to finish the things you need to be doing and that you're responsible for every single day, right? For example, if you have a family to take care of, you take care of that family, right? You go to work, you do whatever they tell you to do, you complete the tasks, and you grin and bear it, basically, because you have responsibilities. And if you don't fulfill your responsibilities, like, what are you going to tell your family when you get home? This is something that I take a lot of pride in just showing up every day. As a professor, guys, it's hard to explain this. If you've never had these kind of jobs, is that like, I can't be replaced. I have to show up, I have to give my lecture, like hour, talk with students, etc. And it's not like I can just, call work and say, hey, someone else needs to give my lecture for me. It doesn't really work that way. We're not easily replaced. It is something that I've come to really enjoy, and it's something that's basically job security, right? And something I mentioned to you guys before on the channel is, if you want to have job security, make sure you can't be replaced. And this is something that you'll discover, if like say you miss a week of work and you come back to your job and like no one missed you, no one noticed that you were gone, etc. Something's wrong. And that means essentially you need to figure out, okay, how can I develop said skills to where like people need me to be there, right? And moreover, like, how can you figure out, okay, where can I be in a position where I'm pivotal to the functioning of said company. Now, sometimes business people will give out numbers and say at any given company, maybe 20% of the people are doing the work, 80% of the people are freeloading or whatever. That may not be true. But it's going to depend on your particular organization. And I don't disagree that some people are higher performers than others. I want to, though, just focus on what you're doing in your life and what keeps you motivated. There's a couple factors and ways to think about this. And it's funny, I don't know how these topics come up all the time, but they do. And it can be any number of things that you're facing. First is make sure that you put yourself in a position that you are always challenged and excited to keep moving forward. There's nothing worse than being bored with your life. And this is something that I've faced, and maybe you face it as well. You just get bored. Even if other people tell you that you have a great life, you live in a great place, you have a great, situation, etc. Maybe people are envious of you, but maybe you don't feel like that. Maybe you feel like you want something more, you want to do something else. You got to work that out for yourself, right? So this is something that I've mentioned before on the channel as well. Essentially, you want to reinvent yourself every 10 years. And that's, you guys might know this, I'm pushing 50, and so I do something different every 10 years essentially, because why not? I want to keep my life fresh and be excited to wake up and do something new. On the flip side of that, because I want to give some deeper perspective on these things, you also don't want to overburden yourself, overcommit yourself, because then it sucks out the joy of things, right? One of the best things, and this is sharing with you from my experiences, and I don't talk about it all the time about being a professor, mostly because it's really different than other people's experiences, and it's hard to relate for some people. I only had to go to work 2 days a week. I did that, and I liked that. And it's funny when people, you'll see it, guys. It's bad culture in USA. Some people are like, oh, professors, they teach because they can't do anything. I'm 50. I was professor for 10 years. What do you think I did for the other 40 years, right? Point being, I'm capable of doing a lot of different things. The reason why professor job was so great, 2 days I had to show up on campus. The other 5 days a week, do whatever the heck I want. Do whatever the heck I want. I read books, I go to concerts, I go to plays, I travel quite a bit, actually, spend time with my girlfriend slash now wife, go out to restaurants, etc. Just have the time to have that balance. And I feel extremely fortunate to have that situation, but I had always had that goal in mind. I phrase it in this way is because everyone has different goals, right? The life of faculty is not going to be for everyone, right? Not everyone wants to read all the time. You got to read quite a bit if you want to do these things. Also, too, you have to be comfortable with public speaking. You have to be comfortable with dealing with lots of emotional kids, a lot, and that goes back to the point where it's about showing up every single day. There's something that and this reason why I started with the Dave picture in the beginning. Very special about developing relationships with people, though, is because if you take it seriously, you will understand that the impact that you have on others is much larger than you could possibly imagine. You don't know until you know this thing. And I'll give you a couple examples. So one was I did a science camp a long time ago, working with children. So it was age like 8 to, I guess, about 12, something like that. So elementary school. And I remember there was a little girl, and she was one of the younger kids, and she was drawing something with crayons, and it turns out she drew me a picture, and it was like a picture of me, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but and then she said that I was her favorite teacher, right? This is a long time ago, before I was even professor, and it was the first time a kid had drawn a picture and like that, and she's not my kid, right? Back then I was just a college student, etc. And the point being is like I was like, oh my God, you have an effect on another person, right? And children are very, very impressionable. Another example is the first time I started teaching this was in graduate school, and you would say stuff, and like everyone in the classroom like writes down what you say, and unless you've had the experience, again, it's a really bizarre experience when you first start teaching. You're like, oh my god, things that I say people write down. Like, what kind of world is this? I'm just like spreading my how can I say? I'm just casually talking with people, and sort of what I do every day and say on this channel. The thing is, though, again, the things that you do, the things that you say, the effect you have on other people is very real. And I learned early on in my career that you can have a positive force in this world and be a positive force in this world. Moving fast forward to what we're talking about now with the whole YouTube situation, etc. There's a lot of kids out there who have never had a real job. They haven't. And yes, YouTube is a job. It is. But, if that's the only thing you've ever done, you've never actually had to go into work, deal with other people in person, and sort of navigate and not that YouTube isn't real, but just navigate relationships, opposed to just sitting in your bedroom drinking Gatorade and playing video games all day, which is a lot of YouTubers do that, or makeup channels do makeup all day or play with their cat, etc. Right? There's people who are in this sort of bubble world, and it happens to that. How can I say? They are become disconnected that the person on the other side of the camera, meaning you, is indeed a real person. Okay, so I always put that first and foremost. The other thing too, I want to talk with you guys about with showing up every single day, is for you and your goals and your money situation, etc. Is when you make a commitment to yourself, and we'll talk about just saving money, right? That's something that it's also about showing up every day. Say, you know what, I'm going to save X% every single month. Okay. I'm going to invest X% every single month. I'm going to pay off, this amount of debt as fast as I can every single month. Right. These kind of things, like you make those commitments, and the stronger that you are at, say, training for that marathon. That's why I bring up the Dave situation. And the stronger you are at keeping your promises, and the stronger you are at being positive force for other people and your life, you will find that you will start to surround yourself with positive energy, right? It snowballs. Everything in life is a snowball, be it snowball in the wrong direction, right? Or like I said, the opposite of snowball, melting ball in the opposite direction, or positive snowball in the right direction, right? The energy that you add sort of also creates the aura and the sphere around you. And so you want to always be constantly pushing to be in the positive direction. And if you feel like that your life is not where you want it to be, change it. It's as simple as that. And I know I make it sound like super simple, but I mean, you need to make conscious efforts to push the things that you want to go to. But it's about showing up every day and understanding that, I need to be thinking about, okay, how can I take that positive step forward to where I need to go every single day. The other thing too, which is going back to, showing up every day, is if you overcommit yourself, overburden yourself, which is different than challenging yourself, right? So I'll give you an example. So let's say I'm going to challenge myself, and I'm going to train for the marathon this coming year. And I'm going to keep focusing on that. Overburdening yourself would be, I'm challenging myself to do the marathon, plus I'm going to, take on new jobs, plus I'm going to renovate my house, right? Like you don't need to be doing all of that stuff. And if you're in that situation where you're completely over committed, how can I say, you set yourself up in a position to fail. One of the things that I've learned, we can go back to being a professor, or actually we'll change subject. We'll talk about working in the film industry when I would direct projects. My staff, I would train them to be competent. And moreover, I work on putting people in a position to where they can succeed. You want to build up a person's confidence. You want to put someone in a task that you're pretty sure that they're gonna be able to do. You don't want to make it too boring, but you also don't want to make it too tough. You want to put them in a situation that's going to be challenging for them, but you have full faith that they're going to be able to do it. And there's multiple things going on here, and I know we're talking multiple conversations and topics, but the thing is that this is the balancing of life, is finding ways to be successful, to be challenged but not overburdened, and that my friends, is the challenge. Now, going back to the whole situation, why I mentioned professor, or talking about YouTube, etc. Your mental state actually matters quite a lot, and this is another big factor into keep pushing forward and keep doing positive things. I know it's a very real problem on YouTube. That's why I mention it so much all the time on the channel. Whenever I look at so many other channels out there are quitting or out to scam you, etc., just imagine the mental problems that these kind of people have. You can see it in their face, and you can see it in the way that they talk. And the reason why I say these things is because for some sad reasons out there, and who knows how it is, people like enjoy drama, and they think that's normal and that's a great way to live. I'll give you a simple example. There's a popular YouTuber, his name was, I think, Boogie. And if for those of you who've been on YouTube, you know who it is. This is a really big fat guy. I usually don't use the word fat, but I mean, the dude's really, really big, and he'll even call himself fat. I mean, he's like huge, like Cartman kind of big. And he went through all kind of crazy, problems. I think he went through a divorce and bankruptcy and just all kinds of crazy stuff. Who knows if he's doing drugs or not? I don't know. But yes, for us, YouTube people, well, not me particularly, I know who this person is, but for many people out there, that stuff's entertaining. It's entertaining to watch someone go through all that said drama. But that is no way to live, and it's nothing that you want to aspire towards. I completely understand, if you come on my channel, maybe it just seems like I'm really boring all the time because I'm just the same, smiling, having a good time, etc. But for me, and I wanted to share blatantly the secret with you, because people don't believe, I'm pushing 50. I'm 49 this year. I'll be 50 next year. This is how you stay young. Keep good mental state, keep good physical state, keep a good diet, surround yourself with positive people, keep moving forward, right? Keep life exciting. There's so many things involved. And I try to emphasize this stuff with you and talk with you about it every day. But I know for some people this stuff is completely foreign, because maybe you surround yourself with negative people and negative experiences, a negative job, and negative, etc. And so you don't realize that there's another choice of lifestyle out there. Sure, I could make billions like Tai Lopez. I just made a video about him, the guy with the Lambo in his garage, and scam people every day. But it takes a toll on your life, and it shortens your lifespan. I go back to a story that my wife, we always talk about. She did some consulting and translation for a foreign professor that came to Korea. I want to say it's like, I don't know, 2 years ago or something like that. I can't remember exactly. And I can't remember which country he's from. We'll just say Sweden. I don't remember exactly. It was not USA, but a different country. And the guy was old. I think he was like 97 or 98 or something like that, like pretty old. But he was able to do everything by himself. He traveled all the way over by himself, and was, perfectly healthy, and also too mentally fit enough to give a keynote, lecture at this conference. And I mentioned that is because, and if you want to take a look at the Charlie Munger situation, or Warren Buffett, who, unfortunately, sadly, Charlie Munger died recently. I made a video on that, talking about that. But they have their full faculty, and they can, essentially function for as long as they live to the very end. And I don't make any light of anyone's health or anything like that. But what I'm saying is that it is possible to be healthy and fully capable for the 99.9% of your life. And it's something that, I guess, for young kids in their 20s, yes, I get it. You're talking about the Lambos and doing the drugs and getting as many girls as you can. I get that. And in fact, I probably need to make more videos talking about what I did in my 20s to do all said things. But I'll give you a brief one. When all the other kids were out partying and drinking, I was busy dating. It's different, right? I'm just telling you, it's really different. Like, I'd be on a date with a girl and doing stuff, and for the weekend, right, and having different types of things, where other people are out drinking, looking for said life. It's yeah, I don't want to go into details of that stuff. That'll be a different topic for a different video. But I guess I'll just say this: set goals for yourself, show up every day, and stay positive. And let's just keep having these conversations. And always enjoy hearing from you. And again, I want to emphasize I understand you're a real person behind the camera, and I am thankful and happy to have you guys show up every day in the community. So thanks again, and catch you next video.